If there's one thing I've learned from being an athlete, it's a lot of times you have to think on your feet and come up with stuff really fast. Like today, when I arrived and they said, "You're going to be speaking first." And I said, "Well, what am I speaking about?" And they said, "Whatever you want." So I had to come up with something on the spot. But when I think about my athletic career, what I really think about are all the experiences. Very few of my great thoughts are actually jumps or great heights that I cleared. It's about all the experiences along the way. And just last week, I traveled to the 30th country I've ever been to as a result of track and field, which is pretty incredible. And so I just want to share a couple of stories because for me that's what it's all about. And so I was competing at the Commonwealth Games, and I was leaving to go, and I told my wife, I said, "Well, I'll say hi to the Queen while I'm there for you." And when I arrive, I'm not joking, I had a letter inviting me to have lunch with the Queen. And so we go to have lunch, and there was 24 athletes selected, and there was 2 tables. So one group sat with the Queen of England, and one group sat with her husband, Prince Philip, the Duke. And Prince Philip is known for, I was warned, known for saying some pretty obnoxious things. And so I was sitting around with an entire group of athletes, and he says, "So what do you do?" And I said, "Well, I'm a full-time pole vaulter, that's all I do." And he said, "So you don't do anything useful?" And I wanted to say, actually, my life is exactly like yours. I travel the world on someone else's dime. Everyone thinks I'm great. So then last week, I'm invited to Russia as a guest of the Russian Olympic Committee. Every 4 years there's something called the World Olympians Association, and this year it was hosted in Moscow. And so, again, I said to my wife, I said, I'll say hi to Vladimir when I get there. And I'm not kidding, I get there, and there's the itinerary, and Russian President Vladimir Putin is speaking to us. And so I didn't get to say, "Hey, Vladdy," but I was this far away from him. And then that night, we're invited to dinner at the Kremlin, which was pretty incredible. So that night, I came home, and I was talking to Crystal, my wife, on the phone, and I was thinking, I've lived a life like Forrest Gump without all the sad parts. And it's a result of track and field. And the other thing is, when you're an athlete, into your sport, you realize being a good athlete, you're also a very self-centered person. I mean, you have to be good at, it's your time, you got to focus. And when you get done, like most of us are now, then you look back and you realize that there's a huge support group of people that allowed you to be there. And some of them are here today. I've got some of my coaches that I've worked with in the beginning, very dedicated people. And so I thank them for that. And then probably the most important coach and partner for me in the last 15 years has been my wife. And first and foremost, when we got married, she didn't tell me to get a real job, and which probably would have been a good idea. So for that, I'm very thankful and appreciate all of you here. So thanks a lot.